Hi, this is Off-Grid Tasmania Sydney edition. So it's official today that we're moving in about 3 weeks. So the wife will get there on the 3rd of February, and I'll probably arrive a few days earlier on the 1st, taking the truck down on the Spirit of Tasmania. So we're still here in the Greater Sydney area with an awful lot of work to do in the next 3 weeks to get our house ready to rent out. So here's the list. The wife really enjoys lists. So these are all the things that I need to get done before we can move away. But as you can hear from the road noise, because we live on the Old Hume Highway, I'm not going to miss this place very much at all. But we are going to keep it. We're going to rent it out. So I thought, just for a change, just to keep the channel going, I'd show you a few of the things I've got to do up here in terms of getting ready to move down to Tassie. So first things first, this is Jolene. This is a 1976 long wheelbase F350 F-Truck. And poor old Jolene's been in the wars a bit lately. One of the jobs that I needed to do before I took it down to Tassie was fix a leaking gearbox seal. The rear shaft on the gearbox had a bit of a leak in it, but what I've found is that the actual yoke, the gearbox yoke, was in two pieces, and that's what had destroyed the seal. So where there's smoke there's fire, and what's been amusing with trying to get this fixed is that the gearbox yoke for this truck apparently is quite a rare one. So what I thought would be a pretty easy fix has been a week plus of hanging around trying to get the right gearbox yoke, and as such I've ended up collecting a couple of different gearboxes and different parts. I've also got to put a tow bar on her as well, as this truck didn't have a tow bar on it. So there's a few jobs here, and to make sure she's running properly. I've also got a little bit of front brake work to do, and obviously put her all back together again after pulling the gearbox, which I knew was going to be a pain, but I expected it to be a seal job, not a complete rebuild. So a few beers have been had in the process. So hopefully, I'm going out to Badgerys Creek tomorrow to pick up another gearbox. Sadly, this gearbox is a new process gearbox, is, for want of a better word, stuffed. So I'm going back out to swap that with the wreckers with another one, and we'll see. I've also got a couple of yokes coming from Melbourne, and hopefully that'll get me back on the road one way or the other. I might yet be still pulling the gearbox out again. Happy days. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the things I need to do around the house. So the people that I'm renting this house out that we're currently in have rented here before, and as I've already mentioned, and as you've heard, the road noise here is pretty terrible. So they weren't going to move in unless we replaced the old front windows with something double glazed. So now the neighbours' mowers have just turned up. I mean, this is the very edge of Sydney. This is out in what some people call the beginning of the Southern Highlands, out past Campbelltown. It is the noisiest place in the world. It's unbelievable. So this is what Sydney considers to be semi-rural living these days. But it's just a racket. You wonder why people are unhappy here and moving to somewhere a bit more quiet. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, so anyway, so back to the house. So we've pulled out the old window and put in a can't even hear myself think. Put in a sliding door, which is a stacker door, which is actually quite nice. You open it, you can open it all the way up, but at the moment, and here, why would you want to? Especially on a Monday morning. So there's still a few things to do here. So I need to get there's Lager, the dog. Say hello to Lager. I've still got to put some more fibro in there and some trim and clean up. There was an old door in here that's been taken out, and then the other bedroom front window, that's done as well. So anyway, as I said, I've got a huge list that I need to go through, and I've got 3 weeks to do it. So let's see how we go. I might, if there's any other things I do here, there's a truck going past. If there's any other things I do here that are interesting, I might take a video. But if not, certainly once we start packing old Jolene up. So I've got Jolene. We'll take. So her tray is 3.3 metres long by 2.4 metres wide. So I'll probably get, believe it or not, probably get 30 or 40 T-chests on here. And then I'll have a single 8x5 box trailer as well to go on the back. We've already had one lot of removalists go down to Tassie. So basically, if it doesn't fit on Jolene and the trailer, it's probably not going to come. But we'll see how it goes. Sadly, if we can't get Jolene back on the road, she might have to stay up here a little while longer, and I might have to come back and work out another way to do this. But I'd prefer not to, because removalists are very expensive for what they are these days. There's a bull bar for Jolene. But it's such a shame about this house, because it's in such a it's a nice place, but it's just too noisy, too much now. 5 years ago when I moved here, 7 years ago I think, it was nowhere near as busy as it is now. And I'm not one of these complainers that, you know, like moving next to a pub and then complaining about the noise. I know it's on a main road, but it's really the amount of traffic has just quadrupled since I've been here. So yes, no wonder we're pining for the quieter life off grid down in Tas. But anyway, we're going to rent this out, and hopefully it'll provide some income for us to live off when we're down in Tas. Anyway, so that's also that's Off Grid Tasmania Sydney edition, and as I said, I'll update you with that as we start packing, and as I said, hopefully I'll be setting off around the 29th of January in around 3 weeks down to the Spirit of Tasmania to get on the boat, and hopefully old Jolene makes it. But I said I'll be carrying just about every spare part known to man for her, whole new cooling system, and she's quite a reliable truck, but again, it's just making sure everything's right. She's decided to have a little bit more wrong with than I thought, and unfortunately I think the one part that I can't easily get, because you can literally buy brand new reproduction parts to build one of these trucks from the ground up, with the exception of the gearbox and the gearbox yoke apparently. Anyway, thanks for watching.